And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Welcome to Open Connection. I'm your host, Robert Pictou. The EnerGuide rating demonstrates the energy performance of a home rather than an indicator of energy efficiency. On today's Open Connection, we bring you part 2 of our conversation with certified energy consultant Nick Gascon.
Yes, so there's one website called betterhomesbc.ca. I'll pull it up actually, we can take a look at it. And betterhomesbc.ca is a source where all the grants are in one spot. It might send you to a couple pages here and there to get to the federal side, but it's all in one snapshot, so it's easy for customers to find it. And you can, so when you go to betterhomesbc.ca, you have an option to choose find rebates for renovating a home or find rebates for building a home. Now note that when you're renovating a home, the grants go to the homeowner. When you're building a home, the grants go to the builder. If you're an indigenous community, the bands can request that the grants go to the bands. It's an extra option for the building side. Anyways, that's a side story. But renovating a home, let's say for a homeowner renovating, you click on renovating and you choose your district, which in this situation, let's go terrace. And it'll choose if you have more than one system, please select the main heat source. Most homes in this area is a natural gas furnace. We're going to click submit. And now it's filtering the website with all the different grants that are available. On the left side bar, it shows all the different ones. You can filter them. But let's just, for instance, let's just go look at heat pump. And let's go to the very first one here, central ducted heat pump rebate. This one says it has a maximum of $6,000. It's better than that for us up here. They've just started something called the Northern Offer, which is for anybody north of latitude of 100 Mile House. So if that's the case, there's an extra $3,000 for heat pumps and other products as well. So I'll give you an example. So let's say if you purchased a heat pump for your home, a ducted one, so it would replace your gas furnace. You'd go an all-electric system like that. It has to have a certain SEER and HSPF, so certain characteristics of the heat pump, and you were replacing the fossil fuel system, your natural gas. The Northern Offer is $9,000 on the provincial side. On a different, if you go back to the rebates, you'll notice a spot for the Greener Homes grants, which is also under heat pumps, but near the bottom, it'll say Canada Greener Homes grants, multiple rebates. If you click on this one, it will show you the other options. So in particular for heat pumps, you click on heating, and let's pull this up here. Air source heat pump and cold climate air source heat pumps. You will see a spot where it shows near the bottom of it, cold climate air source heat pump, central ducted system, or 3 or more ductless system heads supplies that supply air, outlet, or indoor heads. They are $5,000. So there's $5,000 on the federal side and $9,000 on the provincial side. Plus there's $600 for EA grants. So if just one product in your house you're replacing today, there's $14,600 available in grants. So one of the caveats that you have to do is you make sure that you keep track of your invoices, and when you go to apply, they're going to need to see a copy of your invoice, and you look at that dollar value and you apply that dollar value and click submit. So make sure that you're not making a profit. So post-assessment is a much shorter time frame. So we come in, we verify all the upgrades you said you did. So you got a new heat pump, we'll get the new information off that heat pump. You did some attic insulation, we'll verify how much insulation you put in and if it was the whole attic or just a certain section. We calculate all that information. We will re-update the file with that, and it will tell us the new consumption rating on the home. This post-assessment also gets submitted to NRCan, and that is when you can apply for your grants. So while we're on site for post-assessment, we will walk through what the steps are in order to do the application process. So they don't have to try to figure it out. We will guide them through, it's here, this is how you do it, you're good, you're off and running. And they can always call us at any time if they get stuck. So we help make this whole process easy for them so that they don't feel like they are left alone. The best way to do it is to go to www.getsenergy.ca, G-E-T-S, energy.ca. And from there, you can find our main website, and you can see there's a spot to book an evaluation. Even if you're unsure if you need an evaluation, still put your information in. We'll call you and talk to you, and we'll give you more information about what it's about. And feel free to call us if you're unsure. There is a phone number on that website, or you can, if you feel like calling me directly or reach out to me directly, you can email me at nick.gascon, Gascon, @getsenergy.ca.
A heat pump extracts heat from the cold outside air and transfers it inside our home. To this end, a compressor inside the device uses electricity to increase the temperature of the heat extracted from the outside air. The heat pump can also provide cooling by transferring warm indoor air to the outside.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Next, you'll need to decide which retrofits work best for your budget and renovation plans. Keep in mind, only retrofits from the Energy Advisor's report are eligible for a grant. Any purchases you make need to be from a Canadian distributor and from our website's list of eligible products. And certain installations need to be done by a professional. If you're not sure where to start, our website can show you the maximum grant amount available for each of the retrofits in your plan. And now that you're considering which retrofits to complete, you might wonder, do I need a loan so you can complete even more of the retrofits from your Energy Advisor's report? If you're eligible, you can get an interest-free loan up to $40,000 that's repayable over 10 years. If you choose to go down this path, you'll need to submit an application online. Start by reviewing your Energy Advisor's report and decide which retrofits need a loan.
Thank you for staying with us. In the first 7 months of 2022, over 36,000 new homes were registered in BC, including 6,306 single detached and 29,746 multi-unit homes. Let us return to the conversation as certified energy consultant Nick Gascon shares more information on new homes.
The new construction side is very big, and it's becoming a big portion of BC in particular. The step code, BC step code, is causing a massive shift in how our builders are building today. So we talked about making a house more airtight, more efficient, and using a good mechanical system. These are all components that are going to be happening. And starting next year, these builders are going to be working with Energy Advisors one-on-one as part of a requirement to building a home. And it's very rewarding for the builders to do a very well-built home. They get to show off their stamp of approval. So if they build a step 3, 4, or 5 home, they get to show to the customer, this is a step 5 home, this is all the reasons why, and this is going to mean it's most energy efficient to today. So if you go to that betterhomesbc.ca website, we'll go back there, and we're going to choose, instead of renovating a home, we're going to go to building a home. And we're just going to go to terrace, and we're going to say if the home is more than one system that they're going to be choosing, let's just choose the main heat source, which will be, let's say, a heat pump. Heat pumps seem to be the biggest common one that people are using today, so we're going to choose that. There are rebates for all electric homes, and it's quite significant. In the Better Homes new construction program, we're going to click on that. It says up to $15,000. It's higher for us because we're in the north. And we'll scroll down to the step codes. So there's step 3, 4, and 5 as examples. Step 5 is 80% more efficient to today's building code, bare minimum. So it's a very, very efficient home, but it can be done, and it is being done right now today in Terrace. So for step 5, let's say you're building a home in Terrace. The builder would receive, for a single family home, they'd receive $14,000 plus the additional $3,000 northern offer. So there's $17,000 there. They would also receive additional $1,600 for the builder to help cover some of the costs of the Energy Advisor. So $18,600 right there for step 5. For a case study in town, there is a client which has given me permission to talk about the home that he's building. Graham Scott is building a house on the north bench here. It is going to be a step 5 build. It is built with common materials today that any builder can pick up. So for instance, this home is a typical 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. It has a 4-foot crawl space with an ICF foundation, so insulated concrete forms, very efficient, very well insulated. His main floor is 2x6 wall, which is typical construction today, with 1.5-inch wool insulation on the exterior. His attic insulation has R60, so he's got quite a bit of insulation in his attic, and he's using a heat pump system with an HRV. This house, in order for it to meet step 5, it has to be very, very airtight. It has to be under 1 air changes per hour, which most new construction today is about 2.5, so it's pretty tight. We have to look at every possible thing you can imagine to make this home airtight. We did a blower door test the other day, and he managed to hit 0.77. So he's doing it. And at this low of air change, there's very, very little need on a heating supply because the air's not leaking. It's going to the walls and it's stopping, and it takes a very long time for that heat to pass through. There's no air leakage. So he's right on the money for it. He's qualifying. He's right there. He's going to be getting that step 5. And yeah, he's going to be able to put that seal of approval on that home. But common practice, common building materials, right? It was nothing out of the ordinary. A lot of these guys are doing this now. And builders today should be working with an energy advisor because they're already doing it in the north. Our builders make great homes here. If it was a drafty home, they would hear about it, right? The customer would complain.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Then get at least one quote from a licensed professional for each of the retrofits you'd like to include in the application. Finally, you'll need to answer some questions online about your ability to repay the loan. Keep in mind, you won't be able to get the full loan amount until after you've completed all the work, so you might want to consider asking for an advance. To do so, you'll need to add the total of your contractor's deposits. Remember to double-check your information before you submit your application. You won't be able to go back and add new retrofits later.
Welcome back to Open Connection. The BC Energy Step Code goes above and beyond the requirements of the base BC Building Code. It consists of a series of steps representing increasing levels of energy efficiency performance. Let us return to the conversation with certified energy consultant Nick Gascon.
So they build them already great. There's no reason why they shouldn't be working with an energy advisor because there's rebates available for the hard work they already did. So even if you don't hit step 5, there's step 4 and there's step 3, and there's grants for them. There's 10,000, there's 13,000, depending on which way you go with it. And it's not just for a single home. There's duplexes and triplexes and houses that are stacked this way. If they are stacked this way, they have to have their exterior door. There's many reasons for it, but an energy advisor can walk you through to see if you're eligible, and more often than not, you are, especially for homeowners and for builders building homes for homeowners. Incredible opportunity. So that's the new construction side, but on the home renovation side, there's one piece that I have not brought up that's important. In order to take advantage of these rebates, the contractors in town that provide the heat pumps, the insulation, the windows, the doors, should be on the Home Performance Contractors Network. And these contractors can be found. The easiest way to do it would be so you'd go to, it's easier to Google this. So Google find a contractor BC and find the betterhomesbc.ca website and choose your area. So some contractors in the area are only listed in certain municipalities, so search around. So if it's not Terrace, try Rupert, try Smithers, try Kitimat, but let's try Prince Rupert, for instance. Because I know there's one on there for heat pumps, and he has been doing quite a bit in the area. And let's see what pops up. So there you go, you can see it shows Frosty Refrigeration and Air Conditioning based out of Prince Rupert. He services all the Northwest BC, including the Haida Gwaii Islands, and he's been doing quite a bit in the area recently, so he would be an example of a contractor you can ask about a heat pump. But I know that there's more contractors than are just listed here. So if there's one in town that you prefer working with, I know that they are working through, become home performance qualified, and they can provide you grants as well. They're not registered on the website yet, that's okay. They don't have to be on the website. As long as they're working through their training with this network, you're fine. So reach out to your contractors that you prefer to work with and see if they're working on it. If they're not, they should be working on getting onto this Home Performance Contractors Network. If they don't know where to go, they can certainly reach out to me and we can help guide them in the process. Yeah, so there's that. And I also have these reports. So as a homeowner, what do you get? What do you get? So you actually get an EnerGuide assessment as a large report. You get several PDF files, but we can talk about a couple of them today and why it's important and why it might end up becoming a concern in the future, because you might need it in order to sell your home. Okay. So when you go to buy a house today, a realtor will give you the listing, and then they'll walk you through the house. It has a nice kitchen, it has a nice exterior, it's got a garage, it looks great. But they'll also potentially in the future, we don't know if this is going to go through yet, but they may also be giving you a consumption report, which is these EnerGuide reports in front of you. And the number on them, the rating, is the most important thing to look at. So Robert, I've got two in front of you here. So I have two homes. One is from Terrace, one is from Victoria. It doesn't matter particularly the address, but it just goes to show you, just by looking at a house, you have no idea what the consumption is. So the first one you have in front of you there is one in Victoria. It's a fairly new build. This is the sheet that a homeowner would get if they do an EnerGuide assessment. It tells you things like the rating, which is 68 gigajoules a year. It tells you where is your energy being used. In this one, it says water heating is 36%, space heating is 23%. Pretty balanced looking graph there. And the heat loss is coming through just a little bit of everywhere in the home. And if you look in the second page here, the air leakage rate is showing 2.52 air changes per hour. Pretty good. It's a fairly new construction, so that's doing well. And it also tells you what they're using. It uses different types of, using a heat pump in this situation. It also has a natural gas fireplace as a backup heat source and some electric baseboard heat.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Now you're ready to start completing your retrofits. Make sure to save copies of all your paid-in-full receipts and invoices along the way. If you're getting a loan, you have 12 months to complete all the retrofits in your plan and request your final loan payment. If you're not getting a loan, you have up until March 2027 to complete your retrofits and submit your receipts. Now it's time for the most exciting part of all, in our opinion anyway, to find out how much energy you've saved as a result of all your hard work and investment. To do this, you'll need to schedule a post-retrofit EnerGuide evaluation, where an energy advisor will run another series of tests. You'll need to pay again, just like you did last time, so remember to keep the receipt. Your energy advisor will help you understand how much you've improved your home's energy use and can give you an updated EnerGuide label with a summary of your improvements. Finally, your journey is almost over, and the last few steps are all done online. Once your documents are uploaded, you can request your grant payment and your loan funding. Your total grant could be anywhere from $125 to $5,000. It all depends on the retrofits you completed. And don't forget, you can get up to $600 back for your 2 EnerGuide evaluations. Well done. Your grant money is on the way, and you'll receive an e-transfer for the loan. Now all that's left is to sit back and enjoy the comfort of your greener home.
When measuring energy consumption, the definition of a joule is the energy needed to emit 1 watt of power for 1 second. A gigajoule is 1 billion joules. In this final segment of Open Connection, certified energy consultant Nick Gascon tells us how to reduce the number of gigajoules your home uses per year.
So there's lots to look at on this report, and it also shows on the third page ways to improve it. So a 68 gigajoule consumption per year can be reduced down to 25 by doing a bunch of renovations, and Energy Advisor has given you some options for. So there's one home. You wouldn't know this information by looking at it, but now you have it if this is going to become something that in order to buy a home. The other one here is a house from terrace, and it gives you some information about the home. Now this one has not been renovated. It's a 60s home.
So this is basically your average home
This
terrace.
is your average home and terrace, right? A little bit under average actually, because they knew this when they bought it and they're working on renovations. They're going to do a great job. It's going to look amazing. So this one is 182 gigajoules a year. Its space heating is accounting for 77% of the electricity consumption in the home, or the consumption in the home, and which tells me from that chart alone that it is an overly used piece. So it's working very hard. It was an older furnace, and they are changing out for a heat pump, and they're doing some bunch of recommendations too. This one, the air, where is it here? The air leakage rate at 50 pascals is 7.19%. So there's that 6 to 8 range is where people are being right now. It's using a natural gas furnace. It's a mid-efficient one, so it's 78% efficient. And it's using a wood stove as well, airtight wood stove. So this situation here, they're in the wintertime, they're pumping like crazy the wood stove to keep up. And when they're not using it, that furnace is working 24/7. In this situation, we do have windows that it talks about on here. It tells you the R value of the windows. It's about a 1 or 1.2 or 1.9 depending on which one it is. And they are slider type windows. These ones are interesting because they were actually single pane windows, not double pane. They're single pane sliders. And they knew they wanted those gone. They were leaky. They were causing a lot of problems. So they're going to put brand new windows in. What the homeowner didn't realize though in this whole Energuide assessment was that they're losing a lot of heat through their basement foundation. The foundation was uninsulated, so there was no walls in the interior, and they were losing quite a bit of heat. So they're going to consider changing or adding some insulation to reduce the amount of consumption that the heat pump will have to require to create heat. If you look at the back page, went from 182 gigajoules. If they did all the upgrades, it'd be down to 29, so almost identical in consumption to this other house, just by doing the same upgrades. So are these houses that are 60s houses in town able to be a good quality home? Yes, they can do it. It's going to take a little bit of work, rolling up the sleeves, contractors are going to be working on them, but it can be done, and we can make homes as economically efficient than new homes today. But if you don't make enough income and you are renting a home, let's say if you're a family of 5 and you're just renting a basement suite and just trying to make ends meet, 95% of all the energy efficient upgrades are covered by the government, which is unbelievable, right? So there's lots. And there's a whole other section as well about, which I don't have all the details, but about additional grants available for Indigenous communities. When I have more information and I have more concrete demand, supply behind. That way I don't want everyone to go, you said it. And I'm like, I just don't have enough, to help you, right? There isn't enough right now. And I know that Frosty's really busy, but he can take on new clients. But if he also gets, 4 times more traffic, he's not going to keep up with that demand. So he's going to get there. He's definitely trying to scale up. But imagine if you could put a heat pump in every home in this town, one way or another.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Open Connection. The greatest distance in the existence of man is not from here to there, but that connection from his mind to his heart. If we can conquer that distance, we can soar like an eagle and realize our immensity within. I'm Robert Pictou.